So welcome to the second section of our course, and in this tutorial we are going to design UI for our application. So head back to me.aktdev and here I had already did some UI design. I'll explain you how I did that step by step. So our parent layout is relative layout. So what I did is, let's first go to our components and colors section, and I had added some colors here which I am going to use in my application, but you can add it as per your requirement, right? So let's go to the color section, let's go to a style section, and from here let's change it to no action bar, because our application will not have any action bar in its UI design. So let's close this again, and if I go to drawables, I'm having some files here which I had already added. So this drawable file will be for our button. If you see in our demo application that we are having, which is here, we are having this button, right? So I had created this XML code which will attach to the background of our button and which will give us this gradient look. And the second one is button selector. So on click of that button, it will give us the ripple effect of this. And third one is the gray gradient. So this is the gray color gradient. If our expression has not, then its background will be gray, right? So this is the gray gradient, and that's it. The three files that I had added here. Now let's come to our main.xml file. This is our relative layout, which is our parent. I had changed its background color to black by passing it a hex code, and keep screen on, so it should always be activated, this screen. And I had given it ID as fire top layout. Now I am having a button which is attached to the bottom, right? And I had set its foreground to this selected item background, and its background is button selector that we had created in our drawables folder, right? So now next one is the text view. I had created here the two text view on top of this button, right? So these are both are validity has gone, so I'll make it visible to show you what this text view is. So this is visible, and let's also make it visible. And let's, if I zoom is, one is for left eye and another one is the right eye. If my left eye is closed, it will show me this message or else this message. So let's make it visibility as gone. Now if you come down, I'm having an image view where if I click any image, it will show me here image view, right? So I had kept here an image view, and we are having a smiley rating, which is this one, which we integrated in the last video using smiley rating library. So this we had used here, right? And I had given it bottom margin as 120, so it is at this position. So, and I had given it ID as smile_rating. So this is our layout. Now the important part is we don't have a camera here, right? As you can see, we are having a camera here, so we need a camera to click the picture, but we are not having here a camera, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create a custom camera for our application. So just go to your main project and just right click here and create a new package. Now give it name as UI components, right? UI components, and inside this package we are going to keep our custom camera. So let's click on new, and let's click on new class, that will be camera preview, and click on we need to create a class. So okay, now our camera preview class has been created. Now to create it, I had already made a code and I had kept it in this separate file. So what I'll do is, instead of typing it, if I type it, the video will be more very large. So what I'm going to do is I'll step by step copy the steps from here and paste it here, and I'll explain you how it works. So first of all, we need to create a constructor for our class which extends the view group, right? So I'll copy it and I'll paste it here. So class is view camera preview, and we are having the two parameters in it. First one is the context and second one is the attribute state, and it extends the view group, right? And now it tells us to implement some methods. So just click Alt and enter, and it will tell us to implement members, and click on that, and it will tell us to implement the layout. Because we are having the view group, it should also have a layout, right? So now override this method, and now let's declare all the variables that we are going to use. So just copy these variables and I'll just paste it here. And for now we are having 5 types of variables and graphics overlay. So for now just I'll comment this graphics overlay and the surface, right? So our graphics overlay is the another view we are going to create here. Let's create it. graphics overlay. So this graphics overlay is an view. If you see here in our demo application, we are having the view which detects the face, and when the face is detected, it shows us the green symbol, green box, right? So that green box is our graphics view, graphics overlay, right? So we are going to create a graphics overlay, and this camera preview will be our camera. So first we need to create a graphics overlay. So let's start with our graphics overlay. So we are going to create here a class the same way we did for a camera preview, right? So let's create it as class graphics overlay, and we need to have a constructor with 2 different types of parameters. I had already opened here. I created a file of graphics overlay and the source preview. So let's first complete the graphics overlay section, and then we can go back to our camera preview option, and we can create a camera here. So let's first create our that face detection green box here. So I'll enter. Let's import the context and attribute set, and we are having the view. Now our class is ready. Now let's add the methods into this. Now before that we need to create an abstract class inside this. So if we go here, we are having the abstract class here. If you see here, this one, that is the graphics, right? So what I'll do is I'll just copy it from here and let's paste it here. Yeah. Now it will say us to import such method. Yeah. Now our abstract class is inside this. Now our abstract class will help us to align that square box. If you see here in our emulator, this square box we need to align wherever our face goes, right? If my face is at the left side, it should be shifted to left side. It should be as per size of my face. So we need to customize it in that way. So first of all, this custom class, this one will help us to adjust the height and width horizontally as well as vertically on the screen. So I'm having here some methods. I'll just with the description, I'll just copy that and I'll paste it, and I'll explain you how it works. Yeah. So yeah. So the first method is, we need some variables at the top. So I'll declare them up here so that it will be easy to learn. Yeah. Now we are having the first variable as log, which is type of any, and preview width, what will be the width of our box, and the scale factor of that, height and height scale factor, and the facing. So camera shows the facing back or front, and then graphics, the list of graphics, right? So with the list of graphics is the graphics, the abstract class which we created. So the list of this class will be in this graphics variable. Now here we need to adjust the horizontal value of the supplied value, the preview scale of view scale. So the scale x, what will be the scale x? So this method has the variable as horizontal, which is of float value, which will be multiplied with the scale factor. The same way the vertical constraint as well as will be returned, and then we are having the application context, right? And then we are having the one more method which will be of translate x. So whenever we move our face, the overlay has our facing. So when we move our face at the left side or right side, at that time the width will also be changed. So these methods will help us to do that. The same way with the translate y. And then we are having the post invalidate. If we remove our face from the camera, the face will that box also will be disappeared. So these all methods we had declared here. Now we'll configure them, or we will call them from the outside of our this abstract class. So for that we need to go back to our this file, and we need to add some more methods here. Yeah, and let's add it here. Yeah, as you can see, the clear method will refresh our screen. It will clear all the graphics from this mutable array of list and clear that. And add method will call it whenever our face has been detected onto the screen, and it will add that green box graphics into this array list. And then remove section, the same as clear section. It will remove the particular graphics from the list of the graphics, right? So now we are having one or two more methods, still two more methods. So the on row method is very important at this section. It will whenever the face has been detected, it will start drawing that square box, detection box, onto the screen. So this we can override this on row method, and it will give us the canvas variable. And we need to call the synchronize, and in round brackets we'll pass a lock. Lock is type of any, which we declare at the top. And if you go bottom, if preview width, that is the width of our square box, the preview width is not equals to 0 and the preview height is not equals to 0, which means that if our face has not been detected at that time, it will be 0. Else our face is detected at that time, it will automatically arrange the height and width as per our face that we had did here in this abstract class, right? Scale by scale x. So if it is not equal to 0, which means the face has been detected, and it will at that time it will arrange the width and height of our canvas, right? And then we'll run this array of graphics into a for loop, so that we can draw our canvas as per that constraint. So this method will help us to draw that green box onto our face. Now we are having one more method, which is of type set camera info. I had kept this all commands here so that it will be easy for me to explain as well as for you to understand which methods do what, right? So let's paste it here. Now we are having the one more method, that is set camera info. Now this set camera info helps us to detect our face is moving in which direction, if it is in left or if it is in right, and at that time it arrange this our green box as per that, right? So I think now our graphics overlay has been ready. Now as you can see, now let's go to our camera preview, and if you see here, this graphics overlay class has already been imported, right? Previously it was giving you error. Now we can start designing our camera preview. So let's go to our camera preview, and we had already declared some variables at the top, and let's uncomment this. If you see here, gives me some error. Okay, so it says that it should be initialized or to be an abstract. So the same way we created here the abstract class of graphics, the same way we are going to also create here the abstract class. So for now, ignore this error. We'll solve it soon. So we are having the variable of surface view. The surface view will be the abstract class we are having here, and then the start requested and surface available variables, and the camera source in which our camera will be there, and the graphics overlay is the variable of this class, right? So now let's start designing our camera. So firstly, let's go to our layout file. Okay, layout, yeah, here we are having overriding our layout. So before that, let's create our inner class here. That will be the surface which holds our camera, right? So we'll import this extensions and exceptions, and I am having here the logcat. If it throws if it throws the error or exception, it will detect that exception. Now what this class does is, firstly we'll import some other methods that will start our camera or stop our camera. So let's import them. Let's put it here. Now we are having first method as start method. It will, when we call this method, it will clear the camera, the previously running camera. It will start a new camera preview onto our screen, and we are having the variable which is the boolean type start requested. It will make it as true, which will tell us if our camera is true or false, is visible to screen or not, right? So we are having one more method, that is the start as well. So it is a type of camera overlay. It's a graphics overlay. So yeah, so we'll get the overlay from here and we can call this start method. So start will start the camera, and then we are having stop method to stop the camera. Whenever we call this method, the camera will be stopped from the UI design. And we are having a release method. I'll explain you later whenever we call them. Now let's go to our notepad file again. Now this is a very important method. Let's put it here. Yeah, so start if ready. So let's surface list missing permission, import them. Yeah, now if you see here, we are having the start requested method, which is boolean. If our camera is on, at that time it will be true, or else it will be false. So while calling start if ready method, we are going to first check if it is true or not. If it is true and the surface available is also as true, at that time the camera will start. Otherwise it will fail to start the camera. Now it will again check if overlay is not equal to null. Now overlay is the graphics overlay, it should not be null, right? So if it is not null, at that time it will decide the size of our camera, right? The preview size of our camera. So it will be the full screen, right? So we had gave the default width and height of our size. Now if it is portrait mode, now we need to have more variable. We need to check if it is portrait or landscape, right? So we can check it by creating a very different method here. Let's put it here. And this variable will be stored if it will check the orientation of our smartphone, if it is a portrait or landscape, right? So yeah, now it gives us the error it says to import the configuration file, right? So I'll just press enter and we are getting some here, right? Configuration import. So before that, let's go to our import section at the top, and we need to import here this one, Android content res configuration. Sometimes it does give you the suggestion to do that, but if you don't get the suggestion at same as like this, you can type it customly the same way I did. So if you see here, now the error has been gone, and now this variable checks whether if our device is landscape or portrait mode, right? So we are having the private getter for our is portrait mode variable. Now it checks the whether our device orientation is landscape or portrait. If it is portrait, at that time it will be the true or it will be the false. So in this way we check whether it is true or false. If it is a portrait, at that time we make our camera should be a portrait mode on the screen, and if it is landscape, we arrange our overlay to be a landscape manner, right? So our this start if ready has been completed, and if we come to our this class, inner class which we had created, so if you see here we are having the error for start if ready. Now we have created method, so has been resolved now. So now let's start with our next steps, the remaining steps we are having. So we'll just copy this companion objects from here and initialization method. So we just come at the bottom and paste it here. So the companion object is a tag which we are going to display in our logcat. So I'll just remove the string from here. Yeah, the same way I'll do here. Yeah. So we are having a tag. Whenever in a logcat it will be printed, at that time we can catch our exception and see what is wrong with our project. Now here at the top we have created the surface view. I told you at the start that we are going to do it. Now if you click on this surface view is a view which by default Android provides us. So I had initialized it in our init method. So surface view is a type of surface view class which we accept the context as the parameter, and we had added the callback into it, and I had added this surface to our camera view, right, by calling the method add view. So now let's see whether all the methods we had implemented or not. The start has been done, stop has been done, release has been done, and we had implement start if ready, inner class has been done, on layout has been done. Yeah, so our layout is remaining now. Let's copy our layout here and paste it here. Our layout, we had not designed our layout for our camera. So yeah, so our width and height, we are having the fixed width and height for our camera. Now if camera source is not equal to null, yeah, it should not be null. At that time we'll arrange the size of our camera, so width and height, and then we'll check if it is portrait mode or landscape mode. If it is portrait mode, at that time we'll swap our width and height from the temp variable, and we'll actually arrange the width and height in the two variables, that is layout width and layout height. Now we'll compute the layout height and width, potentially doing the fit width, so that it should fit to the screen, right, whether portrait or horizontal, portrait or landscape. So we are arranging them into our variables child width and child height. Now we'll check them if it is right or not. Then it will then we'll run the for loop to get the child at I, and layout, and in round brackets we'll pass the margins, vertical and horizontal, and we'll enter width and height. Now this width and height will be attached to our camera preview, and then we'll call, once it all has been done, we'll call start if ready, and from here our camera will be activated onto the screen. And if if something wrong happens, we can throw an exception here. If we catch the exception, it will throw it onto our screen. So now I think our camera preview is ready, as well as the graphics overlay is ready. Now let's go to our main.xml file, and here we can import them into the project. Now if you maybe you have been confused in this file how we had did it, or maybe because we had done many mathematical calculations here, right? So maybe you are confused somewhere, so I suggest you to watch the video again so that you will get it how I am doing here, or else you are having the source code here, you can refer this source code as well. But still, if you have any query, you can comment in comment box below, or you can message me or mail me as well, so that I can explain you what the thing is if you get confused, right? So let's go to our main.xml file. Here we need to use this camera preview. So let's create a camera preview. As you can see, it uses our class path, right? So camera preview, let's give it width as match parent, height as match parent. So it should be match parent to our this relative layout, and it should not be closed here, it should be closed here. Now our camera preview is onto our full screen of our camera, of our screen. Now we need to add that graphics into this. So it should be graphics overlay, width as match parent, height as match parent, and let's close it here. Now let's give it ID as overlay, and give it ID as preview, right? So this is our camera preview, and this is our overlay. Now I think we can run our project, and let's see how it looks. Yeah, so let's run our project into this device. Our project is up and running, and as you can see, our camera has not been activated yet, right? Our button is here, our smiley works, but our camera, we can't see our camera here yet, right? So let's go back to our Android Studio. Yeah, so we had created our camera preview and the graphics overlay, but the thing is we had not started that camera yet. So that's the reason we can't see camera onto our screen here, right? So we need to start the camera once our application is up and running. So what we'll do is we'll do it in next tutorial. So in our next video we are going to start our camera, and we'll implement the functionality of face detection. So let's catch you back in our next tutorial.